Hey singers, I'm Sarah Lee and this is singingtv.com. Together you and we are making singing simple. We are backstage in our green room at the Hollywood Bowl. We've got multi-talented singer and beatboxer Butterscotch here on my right, your left. Stage. We've got Janeen Rae Heller, who is a wonderful singer, songwriter, guitar player, and musical saw player. And we've got Emily Zuzik, who's also a wonderful singer-songwriter. She does a bunch of singing and work, composition, and guitar. I really should have let you guys introduce yourselves.
No,
so
great.
actually, let's do it.
No, you did.
Like
Yeah.
that?
Wonderful.
Okay,
No, I like
so
it.
here's the thing. As you can see, you've never seen me like this. I know this is like, oh yeah, who is this person? I don't know who she is. About to get in a costume. And we thought it'd be fun to do just a quick little, whatever. What's interesting about it to me is what I thought would be cool for you guys as viewers would be to say, what are the most important things about being a working singer in a situation like this? We're about to go in 1 hour, literally is showtime, 18,000 people. Oh yeah, you can pan over to the little
TV.
Ooh, that's a good pan!
Seats are filling, ladies and gentlemen.
Slowly
Beautiful
but surely.
mannequin art here.
There's, that's my way.
Cameo bomb.
Woo! So let's just go in order. What are some of the most important things about working in a situation like this that's kind of high profile, high pressure? Butterscotch.
Definitely patience. There's a lot of waiting, a lot of working, and in situations like this, you're only on depending on what your goal is. Like you're only on stage for most a couple minutes or something, So it's almost even harder to do it because with a show, a full hour and a half show, you can showcase
Sure.
your
I can do all
variety
these
of-
things. Yeah.
of talents, but something like this, you have 30 seconds and you just have to nail it, so that's probably the most challenging thing. So just mentally preparing yourself and just having the patience to be around a lot of different people, and also just being open to changes.
Cool. To me, one of the things that's important about a situation like this, and you don't know what we're doing tonight, but we're all guest vocalists with the Blue Man Group here at the Hollywood Bowl tonight, and there are about 120 people who are going to be at some point who are going to be on stage. And what's interesting to me is seeing how you need to wrangle and be in the right place, and something that Butterscotch just said was patience. We've been here since 11:30-ish. It's about 7 o'clock now, and even though we've been performing in and out all day, it's kind of been a lot of sitting around and waiting and being specifically in the right place for that. So I'm going to go.
Action.
Sorry for the brief interruption. We were busy
Interrupted.
We were interrupted. We were getting direction. Be here, be there, this time,
We
that
need you
time.
there.
Exactly. So, may I give the floor to Emily Zuzik.
Thank you. I agree with both what Sarah and Butterscotch have said. There's a lot of downtime. Pacing both yourself for the long haul, not I hate to use the phrase, but don't blow your wad in the first run through. You have to sustain this, and you have to bring it whenever you have that couple minutes up there to just do it once. But on top of that, it has been mentioned as well, there is a lot of downtime. And the natural inclination would be to get to know your fellow musicians and chit-chat and maybe eat the wrong craft services. But seriously, you can really tax your voice, and you have to be very aware of just what you're eating. If you're you don't want to make yourself sick, you don't want to drink something and feel like, you ugly, and you don't want to talk too much and then I'm dehydrated or I'm losing my voice. I mean, that isn't a problem for some people, but a lot of people do lose their voice easily, such as myself.
We've talked about this in previous episodes, so that's good tips.
Well, in this case, I'm playing the musical saw, but what I'm going to say applies to both saw and singing, because even though I'm not singing today, I do that other places. And one one thing for me is just staying really as grounded and centered in my body as possible, staying present to the moment, not getting totally spaced out, and also connecting, staying centered, but at the same time connecting with people, because there are real people out there, you know, and even one person, even just looking at one face, and that makes, I think, for a more genuine performance. And that's not so much about the vocal mechanism. For me, the vocal mechanism, staying hydrated ahead of time.
Sure.
And Sarah, you might know about this. I once heard that if you drink too much, it's actually not good to drink too much water right before you sing, that can actually somehow dry you out more. So I think you have to be hydrated ahead of time, like you were talking about pacing.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah, well, so here's what it is. We actually, I think there's an episode called Water. And that's the thing. Your vocal folds are muscle. And we need to keep our muscles hydrated. Going, boom, I'm going to down 2 16-ounce, you know, there's a fridge full of waters over there, right before you go on, isn't exactly going to do that job. You've got to do it constantly, so that your whole system's hydrated, as opposed to just going, okay, I'm gonna do, I mean, you know, what happens when you sort of drink a bunch of water really quickly, and then you're like, on stage, that's not good. So, okay, so now you said something interesting about being centered and looking at one person, and you do a lot of performing all over Europe for really big audiences. One thing that's interesting to me is, what do you do then when you're on a big stage, you can't see anyone's face, it's all bright, hot lights in your face? What do you think?
I kind of like just imagine that they're there because they are there, so I don't imagine. I just
You imagine you could see them?
yes, exactly.
That's good. How you?
I look out in different places. I mean, it's with our act that we're doing, we're kind of an over-the-top act. So there's a lot of show face in different directions, and it's almost part of our character out there to do that. But even when I'm playing my own music with a band or whatnot, I think it is important to try and engage the back of the room left and the front room here, and just kind of keep looking around the room. Sometimes I wonder if it's too much, because I think some artists are really good at just sort of doing only unidirectional stuff, and it feels a lot less scattery. But I've always been one that's enjoyed trying to feed off the energy in the room and connect with people, and I think people enjoy that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have to feed but then focus. Sometimes, in this case, I may even shut my eyes tonight because it's so ear-based, the saw, that I really have to focus.
Okay, interesting.
And like that beautiful theremin player we saw, is it Camellia? Is that how you say her name? I mean, she is just dead quiet, barely moves when she plays these beautiful pieces, and then all of a sudden she's like, ah! You know, when she's talking.
Totally.
And one more thing, it reminded me, this wasn't because of lights, but once I was at a gathering when I was playing, and people were focused at first and really paying attention, and then they kind of wandered off and were doing their party thing. And I always felt that one thing, if you find one person to connect to. So there was a piano player sitting at the piano waiting for his turn. And so I just played, and I was playing in the saw, I played guitar, and now I was playing saw. And I imagined he was just seemed very focused on me, and I was like, oh, he'll appreciate that I'm going up to this note here, and we'll connect afterwards, and maybe we'll start playing shows together. And I had this whole thing going. And then when my gig was over and I was ready to leave, I asked the owner about the piano player, and he was a mannequin, and it was a clear piano.
No.
Wow.
Yes, and I had this elaborate, but he was very impressed with my intonation. And we were going to do gigs together. Maybe I'd go in and sit with him and we'd improvise, you know.
That's an awesome
That's a good
story.
one.
I'm so glad we got it.
Mannequin.
Well, there you go. Here we are. Once again, just to remind you, if you want to Google these ladies who are all amazing in their own right. Janeen Rae Heller, Emily Zuzik, Butterscotch. I'm Sarah Lee. This is Singing TV. Together, you and I, we are making singing simple. And thanks again to Violet for running camera.